Okay, we are live in Sunflower Studios. It looks like all systems are a go. If you can hear us, please jump in the chat and just give us a thumbs up and we'll continue. There we go. We got a lads from D Cole. That's
exactly what we asked for.
That's it. So welcome to Sunflower Studios. Today we are joined by Spencer, the one and only.
Where's the camera?
The camera's on over here.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Myself, the OG Bumpkin builder, and we have a first-time streamer in the background today. Before he turns around, can anyone guess?
He's a dentist, so we can't show you his face.
Who is in Sunflower Studios today? Is there anyone in the chat that can figure out who this is? Long-time player, devotee to Thought Farm and the cause. Steve has flown to Sydney. No, that's not quite it. Alright. Otherwise known as the Carrot Counter. So today we've got a very special guest, Harry McBride. Come in, mate.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Camera's over here, mate.
Where's the camera?
It's right here.
Yeah, I should just introduce myself. As Adam said, I've been in this community for a long time and been working on the project in the background for the past few months. Yep, Hazza, you can call me Hazza. I am also a certified carrot counter. And basically what I'm here, you might not, I've been working really hard in the background to help support the community and support the core team in all finance, legal, compliance, all the boring stuff, so we can get along with all the entertainment and the fun stuff.
That's it. So, as most people know, behind the scenes of a crypto game, it's not all sunflowers and roses. Like, there's a lot that goes in with the regulation side and the finance side, especially in Australia. So Harry's the one that's doing all the heavy lifting that makes sure that the game can continue. So we'll probably get a few more live stream sessions with Harry. Maybe one day he'll be able to stream the bookkeeping and the finances. But yeah, give a warm welcome to Hazza.
Thanks, guys.
We've also got Romy and Craig. They're in the design room right now doing some pretty innovative stuff with the Bumpkins. Before we jump in today, just wanted to say anything that we discuss during this stream is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Investing in crypto is always risky. What we say does not guarantee it will make itself into the game. Okay, so we give you a sneak peek of what's currently being built on, and we trust that you don't go out and commit this idea that it's 100% guaranteed in the game. A lot of this is still in the testing phase, and a few changes will be made here and there. That said, this week has been a really good one. We polished off the idea of buildings, placing buildings, and that functionality. We got through that very smoothly, and we're very happy with how we sort of left that, and we moved on to Bumpkins. So Spencer, how'd you feel this week?
Yep. It was really nice to move on to Bumpkins because it felt like it was a really clear separation, like we were moving on to a really clear next step of this part of work. I'm super excited about Bumpkins for reasons that I'll talk about soon. But it was, it was super refreshing, exciting, a lot of cool problems to solve. Like Adam said, Craig and Romy are in there doing all of the hard work. We were just in here we were doing hard work too, but yeah, it's been really, really rewarding and exciting because it is a new concept in the game. So it's been a lot of building stuff from scratch, which is really cool.
Well, it's not only a new concept in the game, it's a new concept on NFTs that no one else is doing. And I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, we're solving these problems that haven't really been done before. And we were really struggling at one point. We were figuring out how do we make this work? Because it's great blockchain development. Everything's open source, and you can lean on other projects and see how they're doing things. But in this case, it was tough because we couldn't look at any other projects because what we were doing is something quite special, and that's what we'll take you through today. It's one of those things that we try to explain this to the community, what this means around NFTs and what we're framing dynamic NFTs. But we thought the best way to sort of explain that is just by going in and displaying this. And so this is what Spencer and I were sort of focusing on this week. The idea is that in land expansion, everyone must have a Bumpkin NFT. And that Bumpkin NFT not only exists on the blockchain as a nice like profile picture that you could use, but it's actually utilized in the game. And you will need a Bumpkin if you want to be able to farm, chop, mine, all those activities in the game. And so the first thing that will happen when you come into land expansion is that you need to create a Bumpkin. Most NFT projects, what they do is when you mint an item, they randomly generate one for you and they give that to you, which is cool. In some projects, you're like, oh, what sort of one did I get? But most of the time, it doesn't actually reflect what your identity is. I think we've used this example before. If you get a bored ape that has a cigarette in its mouth, but you absolutely hate cigarettes, it doesn't make sense to choose that to represent your identity. And the approach that we want to take is that everyone gets a base NFT, and you can then design this NFT and dynamically change it by minting new bits of clothing, new wigs, new shoes, new necklaces, and sending those to your NFT. And so this is what the initial flow will look like. When you come in here, you create a Bumpkin. And I guess, Spencer, this is your masterpiece here. Do you want to walk through this?
Yeah, like Adam said, I think when we move into land expansion, your Bumpkin will be a massive part of your gameplay. It'll be required to help you tend to your farm or to your land. So initially, when land expansion is launched, everybody will get the opportunity to build their Bumpkin and mint it in order to get started. So we just built this little, it only really contains some of the default items because, like Adam said, you'll be adding to your Bumpkin as you go. But this, what happened there? Where's our eyes gone, mate?
I think this is a development one. I was trying some new eyes.
No eyes are great. They look great, Adam. But yeah, just this little kind of builder was added in here just to help you to get started with your, like Adam said, your base Bumpkin.
And so here, when you are starting off with your base Bumpkin, as soon as you click this mint Bumpkin, that will actually mint an NFT on the blockchain. It will mint all of the clothing that is associated with this. So you'll get a red farmer shirt, the farmer pants, black shoes, a wig, and what we're calling a body potion as well. So all of these will be separate clothing items, almost that are minted, and those are sent to your NFT. And so that's kind of the crazy part, which your NFT on the blockchain actually has ownership of each of these items. It's definitely this theme we've always taken with blockchain development, that we want to tokenize everything. We're not trying to do this mixture between we're just a typical game that lives on a game server, plus we have an ERC20 token. It's like we want to lean into blockchain development and sort of try push the boundaries and just make everything a token. And so that's this case here. You have very limited items when you're starting out with your Bumpkin. These are the items that everyone will get access to. I think this is a bug here. We actually won't have a topless one. So I was playing around on development and it looks like...
Adam's broken everything, but that's okay. He'll come back from that. Perfect timing to play around, but I wanted to say a couple things about why I think that this is super exciting. And that is, like Adam said, you're going to mint your base character, but then you have the ability to buy and trade, buy whatever, these different items that you then send to this NFT. I've been involved, like, recently, I would say, in some NFT projects, and, like, you know, was just getting into it and, like, playing around with, you know, minting NFTs, etc. And most of them are generative art projects. So you typically, you know, you get something, it may or may not be revealed at the time that you get it, but you get it, and the idea is that everybody is looking for the most the most rare item. So, like, you know, typically you would get your item, you would get your ID with it, and then you'd go along to some kind of site that is going to tell you, given all of the features that your NFT has, this is its rarity score. It's super exciting when you're blindly minting something, because there is a chance that you're going to get something that is super rare. More often than not, you do not get something that is super rare, and you end up just with kind of a low rarity NFT that you may or may not like what it looks like. And then trading begins, right? You either get rid of it, you mint another one because you really want to, you really want that rare item. What we're trying to do here is that everybody can get this kind of like base bumpkin, and the base bumpkin is just that, it's a bumpkin. But where the rarity comes in is with the items that you put together on your bumpkin at any one time. So we may have some really rare collections that are, say, sunglasses or tools or shirts, whatever. Whatever items you put together on your bumpkin is going to decide what the rarity of that bumpkin is at that given time, because it's going to depend on all of the different pieces that are put together on that NFT. So it's almost like, instead of just blindly minting this generative piece of art and hoping that you land this really rare item, you actually have control over building this rare item, and you may do it over time. Like, you may be really strategic about different collections that you're going to buy items from to put on your bumpkin. Someone else may be, you know, putting these items on their bumpkin, therefore they're moving up the rarity ladder, and then you are like, well, to knock them off, I'm going to get this item and put those together. So it's like, it's actually super exciting, because the rarity of your item is going to be dynamic, and it's going to be something that you have control over. So it's not one time I mint this and that's it. It has its rarity score. I either get rid of it or I don't. It's like, over time, it's getting more rare or less rare, and hopefully we can get some leaderboards going so people can kind of see where they sit in the rarity scale at any given time. I think it's super exciting, mostly because most of my NFTs that I've minted have been not rare.
I think that's the case for most people. On that subject of the rarity, so some of these items right now, when you mint your initial bumpkin, you get very limited items. As you level up your bumpkin, you will be able to mint new bits of clothing, overalls. We currently have designed about 30, 40 different bits of clothing, but we'll keep releasing new items. There will be some items where there's only like 500 of them. There might be some items where there's only 1,000 of that necklace and 1,000 of those shoes. Even though there's 1,000, you might be the only person that has that combination of that necklace and those shoes. And so that there is like a one-of-a-kind bumpkin that you have just created. Super excited for these. Some of these items are cosmetics. Some of these will have boosts as well. And so if you want to be getting, say, the lumberjack boost, you'll need to equip the axe to this character here, and that will give you the wood chopping boost. So there's a few bits of strategy here. If you're going for NFT rarity, if you want to flex your NFT, there's certain routes you can take. If you're trying to improve the efficiency of your farm, there's other certain items that you want to equip to your bumpkin. So yeah, this has been nice. You got a sneak peek of the not safe for work version of the bumpkin. I have no idea what has just happened here, but
he just said not today. He said it's sunny out there, and I'm not going to be wearing a shirt.
The sun is out in Sydney, so maybe that is what is happening here.
Yeah, I love it. Good job, Adam.
But yeah, so we're super excited. This is coming along smoothly.
We should also mention, I think, that you can see here that there's two different characters that exist here in the Bumpkin Builder. We have one kind of larger scale bumpkin. This will be able to be used as like your profile picture. Like, this will be your actual NFT. And then the little guy down below, he'll be your in-game NPC or like non-playable character. He'll be the little guide that you see on your lands. Like, who knows what he's going to be able to do in the future. He or she, they are going to be able to do in the future. But that's what the little person is representative of. That's what you'll see in the game on your lands. And then the other one is is your NFT, is what your NFT looks like.
Yeah, I think that's a big purpose. Like, there's so many aspects to this. Like, if you're a collector, you can do that. But there's so much utility. Like, you see you've got this big NFT here, but then you've also got this little guy here. So this is the one that will pop up in the game. So you're just not minting a JPEG. You're actually playing around with this Bumpkin on your farm. So it's something that we're not even live, and I'm already attached and thinking how I'm going to dress my character. What's a hype train incoming? Not sure what's happening here. We're quite new to Twitch. A few questions. There is, will my Bumpkins ever be able to hold a pack of ciggies and a can of VB? Thanks, D. Cole. That's a possibility. The sky's the limit with these sort of items. Maybe we'll do a partnership with VB if they are looking for someone to sponsor. There's Zerjin Gamer. Can we make mutant serums? That will be upcoming for sure. So you can see here that you can choose your hair, your shirts and whatnot and attach them to your NFT. You can also create potions or mint potions, and if your Bumpkin drinks that will change their base sort of body shape, body color. So you could think of one avenue is there's going to be a goblin potion. You'll be able to create that and drink that and turn them into a goblin. Down the line, we might have things like beavers, zombies, a bunch of different limited edition potions out there as well.
I think the idea, and like what we have on the screen here is super limited. Like this is just in development. We only have like 3 things to choose from. I think we want these Bumpkins to be as representative of our player base as possible. So like, and that, we definitely have some mutant players. So we want this to there's no limit to what type of potions there'll be. I think that it's kind of endless, what could be available for your Bumpkin.
Yeah, I think it's quite important because you look at a lot of NFT projects and the thing that they're lacking is inclusivity. I know a lot of them might have diversity in the race, the gender of their characters, but they're limited to like 1,000 or 10,000, which is just this like old school elite club. And what we're trying to design here is an NFT collection where you're in power of designing your identity, and you can create something that you relate to, you're attached to, that you're playing with every day. So this is what we're building. As we said, it's tough because it hasn't been done before. It's this whole idea of NFTs are typically these static JPEGs, and now we're allowing the players to just dynamically update these and whatnot. Some more celebrities come into the background. We're joined by Romy and Craig. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How's it going here?
It's never been better. Adam live stream has started a striptease with the Bumpkin builder. He can't get the clothes back on the guy.
I can't.
Ooh, it's just out here.
I might refresh this. We'll keep it PG. There we go.
The old refresh button.
The old refresh.
Enjoy, farmers. We'll be back soon.
Just a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see you soon, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day we'll need all the different rooms set up with a live camera so you can just jump in between and see what we're all doing. Awesome. So, next up, so we've got the Goblin War that is coming up. In 5 days, you will be able to choose your side. Team Sunflower or Team Goblin. Choose Team Sunflower if you want to win. That's a little tip.
If you want to lose.
If you want to lose.
Yeah.
So Harry and Spencer, they're Team Goblin. Then on September the 5th, the Goblin War will officially kick off and the challenges will begin. And so for those that were watching last week with Craig and Romy, they went over some of the details of the Goblin War and they talked about this concept of completing challenges, helping your side out, in exchange getting Goblin War Bonds. And so a War Bond, what do you use a War Bond for? So I'm going to bring up this example here just to sort of show you. Last week they went into the war tent and they displayed, I think it was 8 or 9 different rewards that you could exchange these war bonds for. And so this is a little preview here. This is going to be reward 1 of 8. And this one here is a sunflower amulet, which gives you an increased sunflower yield. You will need to exchange your war bond tokens for this. All of these are going to have limited supply as well. So it's going to be the top warriors that get them first. And the really cool thing about all of these war items, they'll each have different utility, each have different rarity. Some of them will be super rare, like only 300 or 500. But they're all going to be wearable items for your Bumpkin. So this is almost like the sneak peek of super rare and super limited edition items that you could put onto your Bumpkin. They're only going to be available during the Goblin War. So if you miss out on getting these, if you don't get enough war bonds in time, you'll never be able to get these items again. So I'm going to be collecting resources like crazy to try and get some of these. You will need to decide what you want to spend your war bonds on. So obviously the items that have only 500, they're going to require a significant more amount of war bond tokens. And it'll be up to you if you want to maybe get 3 or 4 lower tier war items, or if you want to save up and get one that's super rare. We're going to have 3 amulets, so 3 necklaces. If you collect all of those necklaces and you combine them together, you're going to get a super rare necklace that has an awesome utility. We're also going to have 5 bits of warrior outfit. And so these warrior outfits, they're going to be quite limited. It's going to be reserved to the top warriors. And so by the end of the Goblin War, hopefully once land expansion starts and all the Bumpkins start, you'll be able to see which players were the top warriors. Because their Bumpkins are going to be fully kitted up in different warrior outfit. Is there anything you wanted to add on to that?
I'm just so, like Adam mentioned there, that there's these amulets, there's a couple different ones, they all have their own boosts, but combined they're going to be able to produce this kind of amazing boost. I'm so excited for that. It's not really, we're not really saying what that boost will be, but I can tell you that it's actually very, very exciting, and it'll be something that I'm sure everyone will want to try to achieve. There's a question in here about how do we get the war bonds. They'll be available as soon as the Goblin War starts, but there might be some surprise war bonds available at the end of this stream if you hang around.
Yeah, might be your first chance to get a few war bonds actually. It's going to be super interesting. Last time we had a special event, which was the Easter hunt, we had about 65,000 players that minted the Easter basket. The scarcity for these ones, this one will start at 20,000 for the amulets, and then it's going to get less and less as the items get more rare. That said, it's going to be a little bit of a race to collect these war bonds. Luckily there are a few different items, but if you've got your heart set on getting, say, the sunflower amulet, you're going to be in competition with a lot of players, and so we're definitely going to see the most loyal players sort of rise during this competition.
We will also have a leaderboard, which is going to be super cool. You'll be able to see who the top warriors are. So you'll be able to see which farmers or which players are basically contributing the most resources to the war, which will be really awesome to kind of see where you stand after each week, which is going to be exciting.
There was a question here, will the amulets be available each week, just like the cakes, or can we craft it as long as they're stocked during the war? All of the items will be available
they'll all be
at
available.
any time. I think for the first 4 weeks, where we're going to let people mint, say, 4 or 5 items, but then we're going to wait for around week 4 or week 5 of the Goblin War to release the remaining items, just to build up a bit of hype, see where the warriors are at as well. Awesome, we're getting a hype train right now, which I've no idea.
Life's never felt this good, I'll tell you that.
And no idea what this means, but I'm very grateful for what is going on.
We've just been hype training all morning.
It's a constant hype train at Sunflower Land. Awesome. So this is kind of what's going on in the background. We've got Goblin War kicking off next week. We've got Bumpkins coming into action. You combine these two together, and you're going to have to win or do very well at the Goblin War if you want to be able to pimp out your Bumpkin with really cool items. We're going to be releasing a lot more details around how these Bumpkins and how they are going to work. But hopefully you get pretty excited about the capabilities of what this means for NFTs and sort of collecting different items through gameplay and the Goblin Village. Cool. Steve has just put in a little chat there saying what the hype train is. Thank you very much. Everyone's very hyped in here, lots of energy. I was pretty keen to jump into discussions this morning when we're catching up for a coffee with the team. They mentioned that there was a new idea that got posted, the Bumpkin News by Drum 3337. So going to jump in here. I haven't checked it out yet. I just got told that I should go look at it. So for those that are new to the stream, the Sunflower Land is a blockchain game. I guess one of the main differences about us is that we're heavily community focused. We do live streaming development. All the code is public. We've got almost 60 open source contributors around the world, and every sort of idea and feature that goes through the game, you can just come onto GitHub, you can come onto our repo, and you can start checking these out. So some of these the community creates, some of them the dev team creates, but it's a really good place just to get some feedback, see the direction of the game, and most importantly, suggest some ideas. We are looking at these, especially the ones that get some votes on them. And so today we're going to go over this proposal. I guess it was created by one of the players. So this is the Bumpkin News, the Sunflower Land newspaper proposal. Every town, village, and yes, even a Bumpkin settlement has to have their own newspaper, so all of its inhabitants are kept informed, entertained, and feel a sense of togetherness. I like this. This person sounds like a storyteller. The Bumpkin News is a periodic newspaper of Sunflower Land. It could be purchased at a newsstand in the town for a symbolic price. 25 SFL, it's like a 25 cents for a newspaper. I like that. Every copy of the newspaper is an NFT and is available for purchase until the next edition is out. The newspaper is owned and created by a dedicated team from the Discord community. That's pretty cool. So each newspaper is an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder,
collect the
yeah. I wonder if it would be an NFT or an SFT. So a semi-fungible token or an NFT. I guess the difference here is that an NFT means that everyone's newspaper is actually unique and a little bit different, where an SFT might fit a little better here because for that week, everyone's going to get the same newspaper. Does that sort of make sense?
Say it again.
Well, in this case here, everyone, if it's a weekly edition, everyone's going to get the same newspaper for that week, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll read on here. So the newspaper is owned and created by a dedicated team, but in coordination with the core team. So let's look at the content here. We've got Sunflower Land News. This is where like the latest game release is explained. curious facts around the SFL world, tractor racing results or other competition results, and an analysis of the price of SFL in crypto markets. And then there's interviews, game strategy overviews, and editorial. This we could have Harry doing the finance overview, because we do our GitHub docs, our docs.sunflower, and it does contain all our finance reports. We're transparent about everything, so this would be a good place to put finance reports in. Quizzes, fun, gossip, etc. I love this. So development, ideally everything from the design of a newsstand to the code behind newspaper NFT is to be done by a dedicated editorial team selected by the community. Chief Bumpkin news editor, 4 to 5 Bumpkin news journalists, a Bumpkin news designer, and a Bumpkin news developer. So the selling of the newspaper NFTs will generate some revenue, and if the newspaper is to be published, its distribution needs to be discussed. Random example, all SFL revenue is divided into equal parts, where 1 part goes to the core team, 1 towards giveaways to readers, and 1 to the editorial team. I like this. I guess one direction we're going with a lot of these community-led features is that they do get their own control over incentives. I definitely do believe if you can incentivize the right people, they go above and beyond to build the feature, support the feature, improve the feature. So yeah, I think this definitely makes sense to us. One thing is we don't hold SFL.
We would burn it.
We would just burn this SFL, which we've got a pretty strong stance that as the team, we don't want to hold this token that we would need to dump on the players. But we'd just be happy to burn that in this case. So the existence of the Bumpkin news would create a precedent of an enterprise functioning with the game. That's a lot on my tongue there. The newspaper might eventually include ads. Very cool. If this proposal gets the initial green light, then much more thorough documentation has to be prepared to include details such as selection process for the editorial team, guidelines for the newspaper content. Cool. I really like this idea. I think it's really, really cool. I think it would fall under a semi-fungible token that people get this one. And I guess you would go to some URL. It would check that you have this token, whether you minted the newspaper, and then it would display the content.
Yeah, I first heard about it in the VIP chat, where Drum first raised it.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect example of community content. Like this actually does so much at building community, continuing to build community and kind of nurturing community. But it's also such a great project for the community to work on and contribute. I know that a lot of people are familiar with the frogs that are being built currently. This is a 100% community built project. And we're incorporating that into Sunflower Land in a special community section or community URL where all of these things can kind of live. But this is another perfect example, like Adam said. It's almost like a URL that's token gated. If you've bought this newspaper, you can kind of go to read this. There was also another Shining Minions, who is one of our community developers, also recently built a trading tool. And I bring that up because the style of this trading tool is so in line with the game. It looks like it's just an offshoot of Sunflower Land, the game. This is like a perfect example of how the newspaper could look. It's kind of like you get here and then you see the newspaper. You can do the quizzes, do the crossword, whatever it is. But yeah, this is like a perfect example of how community built tools and initiatives can kind of be super incorporated with the game, which I love. It just shows you how rich and vibrant the community is when people actually take the time to write these discussions, to actually build these things. They form teams, they review each other's code. it's just, yeah, it's super inspiring. I love it.
Yeah, it is really impressive. And I think we went into, the guys might have gone into this last week. Is the L community? And it's broken. So we now have a new section.
Yeah.
Here we go. So there's a new section in the game called the Community Garden. This is where the developers are releasing, so the Sunflower Land, just players and open source developers, they're releasing a frog feature that will be going live soon. There might be a little bug here because I'm just running this locally, but the idea of this community island is that where you can come and access content that people in the community have been sort of contributing, and that's the whole idea of Web3. You let other people come in and build on top of your platform. It's not this sort of exclusive club like stay away, this is our game. It's involving everyone. I'll write some feedback on this idea. Right now I'm feeling that it's really awesome, and I think it fits in really, really nicely. The idea would be that, yeah, the community can come up with that content. They can sort of own this feature from start to finish. We'll just have to talk about logistics around the developer that will get involved in this project. There'll be a little bit of smart contract work. I've seen Tiffany in here. She's from the Frog team, and she is becoming an expert in smart contracts. So perhaps she could help this project out or give them a few tips. But yeah, I'll provide some more detailed feedback on this. It's an awesome idea. So very grateful for this contribution. All right, one last thing before we jump onto a little giveaway is our Twitter. There is currently a quick swap competition going on. There is 1 day left, and the idea here is that you need to vote. This is the grand final between a project called Revolt to Earn and Sunflower Land. We were pretty much leading up until this morning, where out of nowhere it appears that Revolt to Earn has just had a couple thousand votes come out of thin air, which surprised us that they doubled their user base so quickly. So if you haven't done this yet,
Vote, mate.
please come in. I'm not logged in, so please come to the Sunflower Land Twitter right now. 0x Sunflower Land, or you can just type Sunflower Land Twitter into Google and come down to this post that we retweeted by QuickSwap and click on Sunflower Land. We'll need these votes if we want to get back in the lead. I believe it's very close right now, but we're just a few votes behind. So we need all the help that we can get. Steve just posted the link into the chat, so please jump on that and give it a vote. That's pretty much it for this week here. I love seeing this photo. The team is divided right now. Spencer and I are just being friendly with each other for the sake of the stream, but after
the minute we hang up, I'm gonna throw this computer at Adam and then slam the door.
haymakers will be thrown.
Mate.
All right, we're going to do a quick giveaway / challenge right now. The last few streams we've been doing like a semi-blockchain challenge. This week it's going to be a little bit different. So there's only going to be one winner this week, and the winner of this will be the first person to answer a question that we give. And so what you have to do, you have to be prepared on your keyboard to write your answer. You need to write your answer, and then you need to include your farm ID with your answer.
The answer's it's a much higher answer than that, but
yeah. So do you want to get the answer up on your screen so we can just double check what it is? So this will be the Sunflower Land Data Nerds. Because we are a blockchain game, every single item lives on the blockchain as a token. This means that all the information around the game, the supply, is available for everyone. And so the question that we have got this week is what is the current supply of sunflowers as of the 25th of August 2022? So that's what we're looking for right now is, I guess, is that the day?
That's
Yeah.
it.
So right now, what is the supply of
25th.
sunflowers?
As of the 25th, yeah. This is the 25th.
Yeah. It's, how many zeros are on that? Okay, so there's a few close answers. Ooh. I think, yeah, Shinon has just cracked it. 14.3 million
Yeah.
sunflowers. An easy way to come check this data is using some analytic tools. You could go to Polygon Scan if you wanted.
But remember, it was as of the 25th.
Yes. Yep. You could have gone to OpenSea. You could have maybe clicked on the sunflower. Here we came over to June, some analytics, and we just went and checked out, and there was 14.3 million. So farm 51738. Congratulations, Shannon. You have just won yourself 300 war bonds. So you're going to get a nice little bonus for the war. You'll be ahead of everybody else, and that'll put you on a really good spot to mint some rare items. So congratulations. We hope you use those war bonds wisely. Mate, that's pretty much it. So any closing words?
No, just stay excited, stay engaged. Everything that is coming up is just super exciting. We're going to the moon, mate.
That's it. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I hope you're excited for Bumpkins. I hope you're excited for the Goblin War. We'll see you on Discord. If not, we'll see you the same time next week. Take care.
Ooh,